Hello peeps, it's me Tabo again, and welcome to the Big T channel. Thanks for tuning in to watch me in. Today I got a little message just to encourage you and to just ground you more in understanding what God has for you. You know, normally I talk about grace and people wonder, why do I always talk about grace? The Bible makes it very clear. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you and unto everything that pertains to life. See, grace is there for everything that works in life. And certainly God gives us a grace that He saves us with. And that grace means unmerited favor. There is God's favor on our life. And He even gives us gifts. You know what I'm saying? That's the other meaning of the word grace. But you know, one thing I want to talk about today is when we want favor. Yeah? Can you handle the favor for certain things? You know what I'm saying? You know, a bit like that saying, you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? Yeah? Here I'm talking specifically about favor. You want favor, but can you handle favor? You see, we all want big things in life. But can you handle the big things? You see, I see a lot of preachers, yeah? And I've been to many churches. I even remember one pastor telling me, oh, I have a vision for 20,000 people. 20,000 seater church. Basically, 20,000. I said, okay. But in my head, I was wondering, can you handle the 5 that you have now? You see, we want favor for certain things in life. But favor is a bit like water. The same water that can give you nutrients, that can quench your thirst, is the same water that you can drown in. And it's the same thing with favor for certain things in life. We want favor in certain areas. But you can't even show God that you're faithful with a little for Him to give you charge over much. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's like you might be a cleaner, but you have this idea that you want to be the cleaning manager. But you can't even clean the bit that you've been told to clean well. But yet you want to manage other people and tell them how to clean it well. You see, God sees all these things. And sometimes He doesn't give us too much. Because if He gives us too much, it will kill us. We will lose control. You know, there's so many stories of lottery winners. They've won millions of pounds. But because they don't know how to handle money, they lose the money straight away. Well, maybe not straight away, but the money goes down the pan and they end up in debt. But what happened? There were millions of pounds. So it's very important to understand. God has favor for me and you. But it's very important to understand we're there to prepare ourselves for that favor. Because God wants us to be rich. God wants us to have influence. You know, I see, like I said before, a lot of churches, you want a lot of people to come into your church. But you can't even look after the 3, the 4, the 5, the 10, the 20 you got. But you want the 200. You know? You can't even phone the 5 in your church right now. You can't even phone them. How you doing? Favor. See, we want favor for certain things, but we can't even handle the favor you got now. God won't give you big favor if you can't handle the little favor you have now. In reality, God's favor is big anyway. But He gives it bit by bit. Because some of us, if we had the fullness of everything that God has for us in life, which we do in the spirit, but if we had all of it in the physical now, some of us will lose our head. Why? Because we have not developed ourselves enough to be able to handle that size of favor. Because with favor, let me tell you something, comes pressure. You see, sometimes we see these big preachers on TV, yeah? And you're like, oh, you see the end product. You don't see what T.D. Jakes went through to get to 25,000 regular membership in his church. You don't see that. But all you think is, oh my gosh, I want 25,000 people in my church. But do you know what goes behind it? The backstabbing, the gossip, The ill treatment that he got to even get there. And you're complaining because somebody looked at you bad. Just one person. How many people have backstabbed TDJ? You see, you do not know all that. Because that's what, with favor, when God gives you so much favor, there comes responsibility. There comes knowledge with it. You know what I'm saying? And you got to develop your character to be able to handle it. You know, everybody wants to be a manager, but can you handle the pressure of being a manager? You know, I see all these little American kids. You know, when I'm grown up, I want to be the American president. Darling, you better start preparing yourself for your dream. Because when that dream comes to fruition, trust me, it's going to be hard work with it. And let me tell you something, yeah? There's going to be a lot of attacks that are going to come with it. Because that's what favor brings sometimes. Because when you're up there, everybody knows it's you. And you get more enemies when you got everybody knowing about you. That's favor. There's a pressure that comes with it. And if you're not ready for it, and yet you want it, and God gives it to you, let me tell you something. You can drown in it. You can lose yourself in it. Lose your mind. Lose your joy. Lose your peace. Why? Because you weren't even ready for it. And when you got it, you lost it. You know what I'm saying? The same cooker, watch this, we used to cook food. You wouldn't suggest your 3-year-old used to cook food. Though it's there, though it's in your house, yeah, and though she eats the same food that you cook off it and you feed her, you wouldn't dare suggest that she touches it. Because she's not ready enough to be able to handle that responsibility of being able to cook for herself. And it's the same thing with God. Sometimes he holds back what he fully has for us. Because he knows if he gives us everything, we're going to lose our mind. Because we're not ready for that favor. So brace yourself. Get yourself ready. Because let me tell you something. Those things that you said, these are my wildest dreams. Trust me, God wants to give them to you. But he's waiting to see, are you ready? So, build your character. Get stronger. Get ready. Because God's about to take you up. And that's going to mean a lot more pressure. There you go, people. Till next time, word up.